Stage 7, that is stage 7 of the hero's journey, in particular looking at burning America in the best interests of the children. And if you have not gotten a hold of the hero's journey worksheet, get in touch with me. I can show you that because that will help your writing and improve your stories or whatever creative work that you have. And also then all the bonuses that I'm talking about in the video, I can send you those as well so that you can see the points that I'm illustrating. This is stage 7 of the hero's journey, the approach. Once you put your protagonist through those tests and once they've met their allies and enemies, they're going to need to approach the inmost cave of their story, preparing to face their greatest fears and conflicts. Here I feature 3 ways how the approach the inmost cave stage can better any story, even those that don't follow each and every stage of the hero's journey. 1. Allows the audience and protagonist to catch their breath. The cave represents the core element of your story's conflict. It can be a physical place like a tower holding the princess, a dungeon holding a captive, a vault containing the Ark of the Covenant, or a weak point in a world-destroying Death Star. In Burning America, Paul seems to catch his breath with a feminist attorney, Deborah, Paul's attorney. He has a plan of attack, and Deborah's boy, her psychiatrist. Paul has it made. It can also be an emotional or physical challenge that the protagonist has preparing to take themselves and take on. A killer shark in Jaws, a world championship fight in Rocky, or finding the dead body of a missing boy in Stand By Me. But this isn't the stage where your protagonist actually enters that cave to face the central conflict that you've been building up to. We're talking about the approach to that cave. They've gone through many tests after crossing the threshold from their ordinary world to the special world where the major conflict lies in wait. They've met the allies that will help them and the enemies that are trying to hinder their progress. Now the cave is within reach, and it's at this point in the story, just before the midpoint, you can take this opportunity to allow the reader, audience, and protagonist to catch their breath and regroup. Action thrillers can't be a non-stop chase sequence. Even Mad Max, Fury Road had to have moments where the characters and the audience stop to catch their breath. A bonus, I can send you that scene to watch. Horror movies can't be a non-stop scream fest. Even those naive teenagers in Scream need a moment to stop running and screaming. Like bonus, send you that scene. Whether it's a brief moment, brief scene, or an extended sequence of moments or scenes, most stories can benefit from taking that bit of time after the exciting, horrifying, thrilling, hilarious, or dramatic opening of the second act as you build to an even more intense midpoint. Consider it that moment just before you shift into that high gear, ready to let your engine go into overdrive as you head towards the core conflict of your story. 2. Offers time to reflect, review, and plan ahead. By this point, a lot has happened since your story first started. You've introduced your protagonist in their ordinary world. That world has been rocked by a conflict that they are forced to face. They may have had reservations about facing the conflict, but they've decided to take the necessary path to cross that threshold away from the comforts of the world and into the world of the conflict they're destined to face. And when they have, they've faced many tests, emotional, physical, or both, and have met many characters that have either helped or hindered their journey to the first initial cave of their conflict. The approach allows them to catch their breath and, more importantly, prepare for the conflict that they are about to face. In Burning America, Paul did not do well with his first attorney, a father's rights attorney, and the first psychiatrist. But now we can regroup, reflect, review, and plan for success. Paul has it made. The psych is paid off, and he has the best attorney in the region. Mickey asked Rocky to let him train him, and Rocky's initial reaction is anger. I can send you as a bonus that scene. This solidifies the dangers of sharks and what they may be up against. It's then the shark returns, damaging the boat's hull and disabling the power. They work through the night to repair the scene. So in Jaws, I can send you that scene. Gordy, Chris, Teddy, and Vern are covered in leeches after crossing through a swamp. Gordy passes out, and the others contemplate whether or not they should continue. Gordy insists they stay with him and go on. So I can send you that scene as a bonus. Luke, Han, Kenobi, Chewbacca, and the droids are pulled into the Death Star after trying to take the plans to Alderaan, which has been destroyed. Bonus, send you that scene. Everything we've learned about the protagonists, their fears, skills, strengths, weaknesses, regrets, and lessons learned, now has to be reflected on and reviewed to prepare for the journey into the cave. And for the reader and audience, this break in the action, horror, thrills, hilarity, or drama allows us to regroup and remember where the characters have been and how they're going to take what they've learned through their journey and apply it to take on the conflict full force. Watch any Mission Impossible movie, and you'll see they approach the inmost cave stage when Ethan Hunt and his allies plan their approach to the first mission. Watch any horror movie, and you'll likely catch the moment where the protagonist prepares to take on the threat. This is the time for the initial plan, the first training sequence, or the first inspirational pep talk. This is when the protagonist is allowed to reflect on their journey and build on the courage to take on the greatest challenge yet. 3. Escalates tension and builds anticipation. At this point in Burning America, Paul seems to have wrestled the tiger. He seems to have events handled, and the reader should feel tension, expecting a resolution, and anticipation should build towards a successful conclusion. But, of course, with increasing tension, will it? When we first see Rocky start to train, tension increases and anticipation builds. We not only want to see him take on his opponent, we need to. When Ethan Hunt and his Mission Impossible team communicate the difficulty of the plan and all the obstacles they must overcome, we need to see how this is all going to turn out for them. When the boys are coming of age in Stand By Me, we need to see how they're going to react to their first major challenge. Tension and anticipation is the writer's ultimate tool to keep readers and audiences invested. You play with their emotions. You tease them. You offer possibilities of failure or success and try to sell the reader and audience on the notion that each of them is possible. The approach the inmost cave stage allows you to build that anticipation and tension to its highest levels before you open the floodgates and let the raging waters of their actions and reactions crash into the conflict they're facing. What you're really doing is escalating the tension by showcasing the many conflicts they'll be facing and building anticipation by introducing their approach, forcing the reader and audience to wonder if it's all going to work. The approach the inmost cave stage within any story, following all steps of the reader's journey or not, the hero's journey or not, is an essential element of your narrative, allowing the reader, audience, and characters to catch their breath, reflect, review, and plan ahead for the conflict just over the horizon. And it allows you, the writer, to build the necessary tension and anticipation that you need going into the midpoint of your story. Well, that's it for Stage 7, particularly looking at Burning America and the best interests of the children using the hero's journey. But if you have not gotten the hero's journey worksheet, you need to get in touch because that will help your story and structure it in such a way to be more engrossing and involving and invest your readers and audience in what you're doing. Also, I can send the bonus when you see all the things that are illustrated by the examples. A lot of times it makes more sense. Well, that's it for this particular episode, Stage 7, particularly looking at Burning America and the best interests of the children using the hero's journey structure. Until next time, Deus Vult.